What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Reports. Today we are here to look over the long-awaited Crunchyroll Anime Awards. You know, the awards that, for all intents and purposes, actually matter. The award that finally decides to recognize us, recognize the anime, and kind of put it on a pedestal as a little bit. And this is the third year that they're doing it. But let's just get right to it because, boy, this is going to be a mess. I mean, each and every year, I kind of feel like a parent. Like, I'm not upset with Crunchyroll. I love Crunchyroll, but I'm disappointed because, yes, they are progressively making more strides to make this better and make this experience, you know, something we can actually look forward to, just like how, you know, movies have the Oscars and whatnot. But in the midst of fine-tuning all of this stuff, is always something that causes some type of controversy. Like the first one in 2006 was basically the Yuri on Ice Awards. Last year was the Boku no Hero Awards. And this year is going to be another monster entirely, and we're going to get on that in a little bit. I know I'm perping because I got a Batman shirt on and a Spider-Man hoodie, but who cares? Anyway, I have already looked through these, so I'll be going through and telling you what I won. I just want to take some time to give you my thoughts on this as well, because it has been a doozy, and I'm just going to go ahead and dive straight into it. A lot of the categories that was selected for this award was very, very questionable, and just when we thought that things were getting better, or that little glimmer of hope that this won't be like last year, we got the same thing. It's just going to be different. Now, presentation-wise, you know, I am still going to watch the awards. I'm still looking forward to it to see what they do, you know, what type of pre-show things they have and whatnot, how they do better overall, and I'm sure they're going to nail that. But my biggest problem with the Crunchyroll Awards and, like, some of the nominees and some of the things that are on this list is something that they did this year is they added more judges to the panel, and they've been pushing this like, hey, we got more judges. We got these people who you might recognize from the anime community and gaming community and various other communities, mostly other communities, but there are a lot of people from the anime community. We got these people here. We're going to take their knowledge, you know, they have their ear to the anime community. They know what you guys want. They know what you guys think. And to me, it felt like they were pushing the judges like they were going to be our voice in the representations of these judges. And what this ended up being, in my opinion, was, yeah, they just got about 20 people. They just told them to, you know, vote for wherever the hell you want. And then we're just going to put it up and have the people vote. So it was in the guise to make it seem like the anime community was going to have a voice. And we really didn't. That's the thing that I'm a little bit disappointed about. Now, of course, there are more casual fans, the people that live, breathe, and love anime like us. But because of that, even some of the things that they have, you have to look at it like, what casual anime fans watching Hinamatsuri, for example? So there were a lot of questionable things that was here. And I don't know, guys. I commend them. I do. And again, I don't want to rag on the judges. I don't want to make this come out in a positive light, but I do want to give my honest opinion. And, you know, they don't want to completely give the power to the anime community because they've done the fan vote thing before. And that ended up being a train wreck, which was the first awards. The second awards were decided to bring it in and clean it up a little bit. And it ended up being the Boku no Hero Awards because the people that selected, or maybe how they chose it, just loved the anime so much that nothing else had a chance. Now this year, they decided to add more judges into it to add more diversity. That's what I can say about the selections that we have here. It is an interesting mix. Like, some of the picks that are on here are actually pretty good, pretty interesting. I can assure you that some of the picks that are on here are things that you wouldn't have expected. But because I think it might have been a criteria, like initially I'm thinking like maybe they didn't decide to have sequels because they knew that was going to be a landslide. I think they wanted to bring more diversity in so it could be more of a lineup or unique lineup, but there's a severe lack of things that people really did love, such as Banana Fish. You know, they're snubbed completely. This series is barely on the damn list. It has one category, and it's kind of, I see that as a participation category. Some of the movie categories are questionable. Some of the best boy and best girls were questionable. Like, let's just get into it because I really don't want to be this too long. I don't want to rag on it too much. The point of this is to let you guys know who I voted for, but I had to address how I feel about it. I just hope this is something that they can tune up next year. Like, maybe they can get more judges, maybe however they decide to do this grading system, maybe they can tighten on up with that a little bit, because the backlash is going to be there. My God, people have been talking about it all day. So once we finally, get the awards and, more people get in tune to it, because it is the first day and they start to see what was done here. Yeah. If you thought last year and the year before was bad, I got a feeling this one is going to be worse. And I know that me by myself, I couldn't do it. I mean, I commend them because this was a big task to take on. It can be done better. I mean, there is a fantastic group of people that I am associated with. You guys know the Kotatsu that did this pretty well. It was a pretty well run and pretty good fan award. So maybe they'll actually take note. Maybe the feedback will cause them to fine tune and adjust what's going on with this awards. But it's a doozy. I'm not happy about it. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not happy about it. I think I liked how last year went down better than how this year is going to go down, because once you start to see some of the stuff that's on here, I don't know, guys. Let's get to it. Well, do we actually want to read this spiel that they gave us? Let's just start with the judges. That's what I was talking about. I'm not going to go through them. I just want to read what they were saying. The judges represent a cross-section of anime expertise, spanning the realms of creation, criticism, and commerce. Learn more about the judges assembling this year's nominees. And again, like if you follow their socials, they were saying things like, oh yeah, like these judges, they represent the anime community and they're going to know what the people want. And I just don't feel it went that way. But anyway, let's get down to it. So voting is easier than ever. Tap the category. You know how it works already. First and foremost, best protagonist. So we have Retsuko from Agretsuko. Not actually mad at that. Yumiko Jabami from Kakagurui. Now, a lot of people are upset with this pick because technically Kakagurui came out in 2017, but you have to think about distribution, and it didn't come out on Netflix for damn near a year later, which is why it's here. But if this was supposed to be a representation of what the people wanted, people wasn't talking about Kakagurui like that. So why is, of all people, Yumiko in a category for best protagonist? Joe from Megalobox. Megalobox got a lot of love in this awards, and for the praise that Megalobox got at first, only for it to degrade as the series went on, to the point where people were saying, it was just a one-trick pony. It fed off the nostalgia gimmick, and for people just straight up making videos saying it's not that great, it's not that special, it's overhyped. I'm surprised that Megalobox is on here like 8 times in total. So that goes back again to saying that whoever are making these selections, they ain't have a clue of what we wanted out here. But anyway, Gearless Joe from Megalobox. Violet Evergarden, which is another good pick. Something that I expect to really sweep this awards, because when something's good, something is good. And just like Boku no Hero, I know a lot of people didn't like that My Hero swept the awards, and then we got to swerve what made it Abyss for Anime of the Year last year. It's not like My Hero doesn't deserve it. It's just a fan base that makes people annoyed with it. I expect the same thing with Violet Evergarden, except no one ever has anything bad to say about Violet Evergarden, because how can you? It was a fantastic series. The Slime from the time I got reincarnated as Slime Tempest, and Sakuda from Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, and I hate saying that long name, so I just say Bunny Girl. Out of all these people that we had, I actually went with Gearless Joe because I know he doesn't really have a chance of winning this, and that's good because he's the underdog, and, Yumiko shouldn't be here at all. Agretsuko, she was a pretty good character. I'm not mad at her being there at all. I don't think she'll win. I think if anybody's going to win, it's going to be Violet Evergarden. That's just hands down. I went for Gearless Joe. And I've already done my votes earlier, but that's what I'm going with. I picked Gearless Joe. Let me know who you guys picked. Best Antagonist. And this was another thing that kind of triggered me, but it kind of goes on your interpretation of things. So first and foremost, we have Ryo Asuka from Devilman, who is going to win. I mean, who better to be best antagonist than the freaking devil? So there's that. We also have Akane Shinjo from Gridman. All for One, who probably will win, even though Ryo should, in my opinion. We got Yuri from Megalobox. I mean, technically, yeah, he is an antagonist because he was who Joe was going against. But if you sat through that series, he was just another man across the ring. And I hate when they put gray area characters in the antagonist. Like, when I think antagonist, I think of a character that I absolutely hate, not somebody that I can identify with or root for. So Yuri was a little bit questionable, but that's understandable. Surumi from Golden Kamuy, another series that was severely snubbed in this awards. I think this, and we have a Serpa, a little bit spoiler going ahead. We have a Serpa and Best Girl, and that's probably it for Golden Kamuy. It's not in openings, it's not in endings. We didn't see, Sugimoto as best protagonist or best boy. So Golden Kamuy really got snubbed. I mean, I know Golden Kamuy isn't that popular among the American viewers, but I just felt that should have been more of a variety. And if you're going to undercut Boku no Hero and Attack on Titan and not have them in this awards at all, Momonga. Now, this is one that I've been having an interesting conversation with people with. Momonga from Overlord, aka Ainzao Gon. I don't see him as an antagonist. A lot of people do. I mean, he's the main character, so technically does that make him an antagonist if he's the main character? I see him more as an anti-hero. If you finish Overlord 2 and 3, a lot of things he was doing was self-serving. It was just for him to figure out about the world and what was going on and things like that. But can you really call him evil? And I know my boy Jojo, he pointed this out pretty well. It's like, we know that he's not a villain. We know that he's doing what he needs to do to save face with, Nazarick and Demigrug and everybody else who are fucking evil. But I guess from a village point of view, he is evil because all the things he's doing, like the Lizard Man, yeah, what he did with the Lizard Man was pretty bad. But if you look at his things that he was doing in season 2, especially in season 3, and even though he was setting things up, he was doing it because, hey, these people are scum. I want to see what they're about. I want to see what they're like. It's more like war. When you're dealing with Overlord, it's no good and evil. It's just who's better prepared. I don't think Aang should have been here. Personally, if you want to go with antagonists, where's Kenny from Attack on Titan? Once again, how can you have a panel of 20 people who are supposed to represent the anime community and know what's going on and watching everything, and you don't have a single nomination for Attack on Titan, and season 3 was arguably the best season of it all? Who did I vote for? I went with Rio. I mean, you can't deny this guy, man. And Devilman, I hope Devilman wins everything that it's nominated for because it was just that good and we got it early. Moving on. Best Boy. Again, another snub because we have the Best Boy category. We do not have Ash from Banana Fish. We do not have Iji from Banana Fish. We do not have Shorter Wong from Banana Fish. None of Banana Fish trio made Best Boy. We don't have Goro from Darling and Franks and anybody else that you can throw a dartboard. But we got Honda-san. We got the damn skeleton bookstore owner, and we got the manager from Zombieland Saga who, in all intents and purposes, Crunchyroll slobbed the living hell out of that series, so I knew it was going to be somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if it win Anime of the Year. And we had Deku, because you got to have Boku no Hero somewhere, because they don't want to completely snub the audience and say they didn't put Boku no Hero in it at all because they were scared it was going to win anything. But we get Deku once again for the 3rd year. And honestly, Bakugo should have been in this because he was more of the best boy in season 2, if anybody. More questionable decisions. But anyway, we got Kotaro Tatsumi from Zombieland Saga, Honda-san from Skullface Bookseller, Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia, Sakuda once again from Bunny Girl Senpai, who shows up in Best Boy. But did he also show up in Protagonist? Yes. So how did that slip under the cracks? And Joe, we got Gearless Joe again in both Protagonist and Best Boy. So you have the same character in 2 categories, but you couldn't spread this out enough to get more people. And you got Howder from Agresco. I don't know what their obsession with Agresco is. I'm not saying it was a bad series. I enjoy Agresco very much. But to keep seeing characters actually get snubbed for this series, it doesn't sit well with me. I went with Deku. Why not? He's going to win anyway. So, Best Girl, no 02. That's a travesty in itself. regardless of how you feel with Darlene and Frank, Zero Two was probably one of the best female characters we have seen in quite some time, and she was the talk of the town of all 2018. Yet she is not on this list, which makes me question, did anybody even watch Darlene and Frank's on this panel? That's another story. But we did get Anzu from Hinomasari, who was actually pretty damn cool. From A Place Further in the Universe, another very fantastic series that if we have to pick a spiritual successor, I would be going for that. But we got Hinata from A Place Further in the Universe. We got Lily from Zombieland Saga, who, you know, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch that because if you watch Zombieland Saga, you know technically this isn't girl, but whatever. It is what it is. A Serpa from Go to Kamui. I cannot pronounce that name. Nad. Okay, let's call her Nad from Laid Back Camp because I didn't watch Laid Back Camp. And we got the lovely Mai from Bunny Girl. That was my vote because Bunny Girl Senpai was one of those series that just stayed consistently well. It wasn't a series that started off good and it started to drop off or just turned to okay or started off bad and got good later. Bunny Girl was consistent throughout the entire year. So the fact that it's not in as many categories as I thought it would be is a little bit disappointing. Next, we're going to go to Best Opening. And if it wasn't so late, I would just straight up rage on this because there's no Banana Fish. There's no Found or Lost in this category. There's no Flashback. There's no Kokoko opening. None of the Gintama openings. What else? No Attack. Well, Attack on Titan opening got better later. You know what? You can draw a dartboard and put all of your openings, close your eyes and just throw random darts and you can get a billion picks better than what they decided to pick for Best Opening, especially with Agretsuko being one of the openings. Are you kidding me? Agretsuko is in the opening for Best Opening of the Year. Are you kidding me? It's like 10 seconds of just guitar and inaudible screaming. But yet we don't have Banana Fish's opening. Who did this shit? I want hardcore answers. Like, who did this here? Who decided to vote on this shit? How did this fly? At least we got Fighting Gold from JoJo. I really don't even want to go through this category. Waterkoi, I know the Waterkoi. I remember, you know, like the sequence where people were doing the little hand motions. I actually like the Waterkoi opening. I don't remember the song itself, but it's pretty cool. I'm not as mad as there. Kiss of Death was something that grew on me. I initially didn't like the Darlene and Frank's opening. I think I liked it better when it got to the second half because the visuals were better. Kakagururi, again, you gotta take that with a grain of salt because technically we didn't get it in America 2018, but Deal with the Devil was a 2017 song, so it's a little bit confusing as here. Pop Team Epic's intro was actually pretty nice. Fucking Agretsuko. And then we got Fighting Gold. I went with Fighting Gold because I fucking love Fighting Gold. It's my second favorite JoJo opening, and out of everything that we were force-fed to pick out of this, I mean, there's not even Make My Story or Odd Future, and I don't even like Odd Future as far as an opening. Once again, I see that they didn't want Boku no Hero to win. I see that they didn't want Attack on Titan to win because it would have been predictable. But some of the stuff that's just missing in this category, again, with Antagonist, Where's Kenny? Anyway, I voted for Fighting Gold. Ending sequence. Best ending sequence. At least we got Megalobox because that's my pick right there. That song by that song was great. That song was probably my favorite ending of 2018 by Nakamura Amy. Excellent song. I'm glad it's here. As soon as I saw it, I just went ahead and voted for it. Now we do have the ending for Attack on Titan, which is probably only there because it was linked to Rising, but yet you don't have Attack on Titan anywhere else on this. I'm going to stop ranting. Okay, so we got Megalobox, we got Attack on Titan. We got both endings for Fully Cooley, which is a little bit of a double dip, but technically alternative and progressive are two different series. Now, we actually got Refrain from After Rain by Ame. I was conflicted with that one because I love Ame. That was a fantastic song. After Rain was one of my favorite series of the year. I used to look forward just to hear that song at the end of each episode because the emotions that it put in. I didn't watch Revolution Starlight, so I didn't know how that sound. If I didn't pick Megalobox, I would have picked After the Rain. I think Megalobox is going to win, but I wouldn't be mad if After the Rain's ED won. Best voice actor. Now, this is actually kind of a new category because we have Japanese and English voice acting, and once again, we have the manager from Zombieland Saga. But anyway, we have the voice actor for Honda-san, done by Soma Saito. Mamoru Miyano for Zombieland Saga, the manager, whatever his name is. Megumi Han, the legendary Megumi Han, as Miki in Devilman Crybaby. That was my vote, actually, just because you gotta bow down for the Megumi Han greatness. Naoto Toyama as Rin in Laid Back Camp. Ruriko as Agretsuko, and Rina Ueda as Akane from Gridman, which is actually a good pick. I mean, if I didn't pick Megumi Han just because I'm a fan of her work, I would have picked the voice actress for Akane. Best performance English. Christopher Sabat. He's probably going to win anyway, but you know what? At first, I didn't think that he would be fitting for All Might because I was thinking more, wait a minute, he actually is Armstrong, isn't he? I was thinking more of like Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist when I think of All Might, but then I think that is Christopher Sabat. My mind's cloudy right now, so you know what? After a while, it grew on me, and after a while, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Christopher Sabat is a very well-known, very credible, and a very good voice actor. So after a while, after I listened to it for a little while, he did start to embody All Might. That was actually my pick, but we have Carl Walgren for Haruko, for Fooly Cooly. Erica Mendez was Agretsuko, which was, I actually watched Agretsuko dub, so that was a very good pick as well. That's probably my second pick. We got David Wald as a narrator for Mr. Tonigawa. Tia Ballard for 02. It was a lot of good picks in this one. Then we have Erica Harlacher for Violet Evergarden. I had a lot of difficulty picking a voice for this one because it was so many good voice talents in the dub, side of things. They actually did a really good job with this one. This was probably one of my favorite categories because they picked a lot of people that should have been there as far as their voice acting talents. Now, of course, you can always argue that it could have been more, but I went with, just because I love All Might, I went with Christopher Sabat. My second pick would have probably been Tia Ballard for 02. No, my second pick would have been Erica for Violet because she did a really good job with the emotional scenes on that one. Best Director. This is kind of the Who Cares award, honestly. We got Masaki Yusa for Devilman Crybaby. That's probably who's gonna win. I think second, as far as who I think is gonna win, is gonna be a director of A Place Further in the Universe, which is Asuko Ishizuka. We have Yu Moriyama for Megalobox. Yohei Suzuki for Planet With. Who the fuck watched Planet With? I mean, really? Taichi Isadate for Violet Evergarden and Hiroko Usumi for Banana Fish. Even if I picked Banana Fish. That was my pick for this one because I gotta pick Banana Fish when I can because it's nowhere to be found in this award because clearly all of the people that were on this panel didn't watch Banana Fish because it didn't get voted on. Or maybe they did and it just got snubbed out of however they did their selection process. Anyway, watch Banana Fish. You need to. Best Animation. Violet Evergarden. That's going to be your winner, hands down. Devilman, because its uniqueness, could win. Megalobox, a lot of people act like they didn't like the old school style of it. Again, like I was saying, after episode 1, you had people like Geek saying, this is just a gimmick. I'm forced to watch the series in 480p when, that was supposed to be the charm of Megalobox. It was supposed to feel like you're watching anime from back in the Cowboy Bebop and Trigun days. That was the entire point of it. And just because you were probably too young to even know what that was, doesn't mean you should have shot on the series because you're so used to the glitz and glam versus more of the hand-drawn type of animation that we used to have back then. But yeah, I wholeheartedly think that Violet Evergarden is going to win Best Animation, and it should. It absolutely should because that Kyoto Animation put their foot into that series, and it was absolutely beautiful. Of course, you can't discredit Madhouse or Bones. Madhouse for A Place Further in the Universe, Bone for My Hero. Bloom Into You. I was actually surprised that Troika made it. It was a beautiful series, but I think it's going up against too many heavy hitters to win Best Animation overall. I really do expect Violet Evergarden to win that by a landslide. Best Film. Now, I didn't get to see as many films. I saw a lot of films this year, but I didn't get to see as many as I wanted to. Like, I did see Two Heroes. I didn't get to see Night Short Walk On Girl or Mirai. I actually missed my chance to see Mirai, Liz and the Bluebird, Mazinger, which I really wanted to see, or Fireworks. I mean, I kind of feel bad voting for this one because the only thing I've seen on it was Two Heroes. Of course, Bungo Stray Dogs didn't get nominated. Last Game didn't get, Kuroko no Basket Last Game didn't get nominated. Heaven's Feel didn't get nominated, even though technically Heaven's Feel was last year. Those are things that I did see. But this would be one that I would skip. There's also Markoya. I can't like pronounce it, but it's a movie on here that everybody thinks should have been on here and it wasn't. So I actually skipped a movie because I'm just going to pick Boku no Hero because that's the only one I've seen. Best Character Design, again, this would have been 02 should have been here. We have, well, Darling and Frank should have been here. Well, I mean, looks like Best Character Design overall look like they're going for the series. So we have Violet Evergarden, we have Devilman Crybaby, Zombieland Saga, Megaloboxer, Gretzko, and JoJo. Come on, I voted for JoJo because JoJo is just so clean and so stylish, and David Productions has done a very good job with actually, you know, bringing these characters to life. They look very well. That was my pick. Again, this is another category I think Violet Evergarden is going to win just because it was so beautiful. And Devilman is just a monster that could very well clean up everything because it made its place into the anime community as Anime of the Year even in the first week last year. I mean, like January 4th, when it come out like 4th or 5th or something. And it was already like a top anime. Finally, we have Anime of the Year, which is A Place Further Than a Universe, Devilman Crybaby, Megalobox, Violet Evergarden, Hinamatsuri, and Zombieland Saga. This category just has Crunchyroll just strong arm whatever the hell they wanted to in the Anime of the Year. And because they didn't want it to be Boku no Hero or Attack on Titan, they tried to make it fair and give you some more picks. The fact that Banana Fish isn't here is maddening. No After the Rain. No Bunny Girl Senpai. I mean, as much as people have been talking about Bunny Girl Senpai for it not to be an Anime of the Year, you know, also another thing, even though it wasn't really that great of a series, for, you know, Sirius of Jaeger not to be in Best Animation, PA Works put their foot into that series, and they had some of the best animation that I've seen all year. Very disappointing category for Anime of the Year. I picked Devilman Crybaby because one, I think is going to win anyway. It's going to have heavy competition with Violet Evergarden, but personally, I think Devilman Crybaby should win just because how much it changed the anime community right off the bat and gave us something that we, and not just saying that Violet Evergarden didn't give us something that we haven't seen before. I just think Devilman Crybaby had more of an impact, but that's just me personally. Now, this can easily go to A Place Further Than the Universe because it was a beautiful series. It was a fun series. It's a relatable series, and I think that's what's going to push it, that people relate to it so much. I don't know why Megalobox is here. Again, a lot of people had completely different opinions about Megalobox by the end of the year, so for it to be actually in Anime of the Year, yeah, that was a force feed. As far as Zombieland Saga 2, as much as Crunchyroll has been pushing Zombieland Saga, I expected it to be an Anime of the Year. Me personally, I didn't enjoy it that much. I can see why people do enjoy it, but I don't think it deserves to be an Anime of the Year. Hinamatsuri, there's a lot of other comedies that could have been in this, and this is something else that I wanted to talk about the Crunchyroll Awards as well. I believe there will be a second round of voting that's coming up, but we're missing things like Best Comedy, Best Drama. There's opportunities for other things to actually get voted, but this is like the meat, like the things that are going to come up next because it is going to be a second round of voting. Those are just going to be the consolation awards. I mean, it's going to be nothing that we actually care about because a lot of things that we actually wanted isn't here. My Anime of the Year, Devilman Crybaby. I don't. We still got two more. I really don't even want to talk about this anymore. Best Fight Scene. Now, these are sponsored categories by Verve, and I believe it was somebody else that they decided to sponsor. And they probably did a better job than most of these categories, to be honest. Hinamatsuri for Best Fight. Hina versus Anzu. All Might versus All for One, which was my vote, which is... It might have been my favorite. Personally, I think Bakugo versus Deku was my favorite fight But All Might versus All for One, the emotional impact and the implications that that battle had, it deserves to be here. It was one of the better animated fights. We have Naruto versus Sasuke versus Momoshiki and Boruto, which is like, that kind of got people back on the Boruto train. Like, everybody was shitting on Boruto, and they still are. But you watched that episode, and that was a fantastic fight. It definitely deserves to be there. Goku versus Jiren, of course, with Dragon Ball being in the mix, you're going to have Dragon Ball there, because you can't even talk about fights without Dragon Ball. Goku versus Jiren, which time? Because they fought like 4 times in the Tournament of Power. Yami versus Lit and Black Clover, which is something that I've been getting into recently. And, you know, I've stopped giving Black Clover the flack that I gave it, because when you strip it down and you just watch it for the enjoyment factor, it actually is a pretty solid shonen. And some of the fights in Black Clover is pretty clean. Even though it's an amalgam of all the things you've watched over the years all put together, it really does feel like I'm watching Naruto mixed with Bleach with Fairy Tail. It's still a pretty good series. And of course, we have Satan versus Devilman. Nice fight, nice emotional impact. Unexpected ending. But again, if we're just talking about fight pound for pound, I'm going to go with All for One versus All Might. And we have Best Continuing Series, which was actually sponsored by Verve. So we had Ancient Mox's Bride. We got Dragon Ball Super, Black Clover, March Comes In Like a Lion, Boruto, and One Piece. I went with the undisputed king, One Piece, because regardless of how you feel about One Piece, even if you haven't watched on One Piece, but you still clown it because it's so long, it's still here. It's not going anywhere. And One Piece is not trash. Maybe you'll know that if you actually watched it. And if you are watching One Piece, you already know it's not trash. The thing is about One Piece, the manga's better than the anime. I mean, of course, once you see things animated, it's a lot better, but it's just like the pacing and everything is better in the manga, and I'm getting off topic. But yeah, that's the Crunchyroll Awards overall. Just wanted to drop my thoughts on it so I can get the video out for you guys. Will be, again, I do believe there will be a second round of voting that has a couple more categories that we might not have seen. So once that comes up, I'm not even going to do a video on it, because I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to sway me to actually do another video for it. But guys, definitely let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know some of your thoughts on the Crunchyroll. Like, do you like how it was run? Do you think this year was better or worse than the previous 2 years? Let me know what you think they could have done better. All that good stuff. Let me know, and also let me know what your categories were. Let me know what you think the winners, the losers, and all that good stuff is as well. And I'll catch up with you guys later. So, as always, if you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because there's not shortage of content for you to indulge on this channel. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now. Shows listen to me. I really appreciate that. So thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.